So I'm Sophie Corbett, I'm the Chair of MCRN and also the Clinical Lead at Gateway Family Services. MCRN has been working with the Blue Mountains community for over 40 years, supporting collaboration, breaking down silos, bringing both government and non-government sectors together to be able to make sure that we meet the needs of our community without having any gaps in service, without duplication. So one of the ways MCRN has been doing this is by pulling together interagencies and sharing information across the sector. We understand that DCJ is looking at a model of bringing child protection agencies together. Unfortunately, that doesn't cover the broad scope of what MCRN does, which brings together agencies that look at mental health, that look at housing, that look at disaster resilience between government and non-government sectors. If we lose this funding, if we lose MCRN, we're going to lose that amazing collaboration that the Blue Mountains is so well known for. People from outside the mountains are constantly commenting. The Minister has commented on the amazing effectiveness of the work that MCRN has done, and we see it and feel it every day. It breaks my heart to think that we could lose this organisational knowledge that has been built up over 40 years. If we lose MCRN now, recreating it and coming back to this level of collaboration could take decades.
I'm Kirsten, I'm the manager at Mountains Community Resource Network. We are the peak organisation for the community services sector in the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. We represent a range of community services organisations in the region. We bring them together to collaborate, to network, to share information, and to make sure that service provision is shared across this very broad region. We are primarily funded through targeted early intervention funding from the Department of Communities and Justice. And this year we've been preparing for a recommissioning process with the department, looking forward to a 5.5-year term of funding to secure our organisation's work in the region over the next 5.5 years. Unfortunately, in September this year, we were suddenly alerted to the fact that our funding would cease as of the 31st of December 2025. This news came as quite a shock. We had no pre-warning. We were assuming that we would be entering a renegotiation, recommissioning with the department for that really much needed commitment of long-term funding. The commissioning process had been through a period of consultation with the sector, but the removal of funding from our organisation and other sector coordination organisations like ourselves came as a complete shock to us and as a complete shock to the sector. We support the local community services organisations who are funded through this stream, as well as those who are funded through other means. And we're really the backbone and the foundation of the community services sector in this region. A lot of the research we know speaks to the importance of collaboration, the importance of networking, of sharing of information, of making sure that there's no duplication of service provision, especially in our region, being that we are 100 kilometres of road, of one highway between disparate villages and towns. It's really important that we have that, that collegial and collaborative approach to service provision, and that is the work that MCRN does. We bring services together to make sure that service provision is really well thought out and well planned.
I'm Emma Jordan, I'm the Program Manager at Platform Youth Services. We are the only youth homelessness service here in the Blue Mountains. The loss of a service like MCRN is going to put more pressure on our already exhausted service system, meaning child protection, justice, homelessness, housing. We're already in a crisis with housing anyway. This will just put more pressure on our community and more people falling through the gaps. A service like Platform Youth Services, we will see more young people needing support, and we are already stretched thin.
We have relied on MCRN for many, many years to provide joined up service pathways for families coming into our service. MCRN means we know where to send families if we haven't got the capacity. It means that families can navigate a pathway easily because they have the information and the directions that are provided by the network that MCRN supports. They are essential to our service delivery.
MCRN has played an incredibly important role in the coordination and management of disaster recovery activities across the Blue Mountains for over 10 years now. MCRN is one of the few community representatives that sit on the local emergency management committee, there to represent community sector interests and the needs of the community pre-post disaster events. Without MCRN's representation, community needs will be very easily lost in the aftermath of disaster events. We have seen that happen in other parts of New South Wales. MCRN was also the auspice of the Resilient Villages project, in which I was the project lead. And that project was innovative and groundbreaking in terms of building on and strengthening the grassroots resilience of local communities across the Blue Mountains and in other LGAs to better prepare for and recover from the increasing disaster events we're seeing in New South Wales.
MCRN is an essential service in the Blue Mountains. It creates time and space for community sector workers to come together, build collegial relationships, a better understanding of what we do, and that supports referral pathways, which means community get what they need quicker. Building solid collegial relationships across the sector are essential for supporting referral pathways, and this is what helps us maintain co-design projects, which are what keeps us responsive and authentic to community need in our local area.
I'm Frances Tinsley, Senior Manager at Connect Children and Families. I've had 2 leadership roles in the Blue Mountains and have relied very much on the support from MCRN, particularly in the Leaders Forum. And as a new manager coming into the mountains, that was an essential network for me to get up to speed quickly with what was happening around the mountain, but also to receive personal and professional support in understanding the community services that are available. And it's been invaluable for collaborating on various projects and essential things like the recent DCJ recommissioning, which was a collaborative effort to understand where the gaps are in the mountains.